you all for joining. This course is on basically Spirituality 101. Necessary disclaimer for anybody serious about issues that involve other people's health. Go ahead and read through this. Basically, I'm obviously not licensed, so take any information from me as advice. But of course, if you have anything serious going on, go ahead and contact a professional. I advise everybody to not just rely on me, but to have multiple sources for their well-being. This session is recorded and may end up at YouTube at some point, so just be aware of that. Next, I believe it to be in your best interest to come into these sessions with an open mind and heart. Much of what you hear here will be challenge what you know about reality itself. Please make sure that you think of yourself as a blank slate going into this, because what can we truly know? Some of the wisest words ever spoken were, "I know nothing." The idea being, once we get far enough, we'll introduce the concept of reality being an illusion. So if you were unplugged from that illusion, what would your knowledge be worth in the overall reality of existence? So why are you here right now? There are multiple reasons, as there are people, for being curious about spirituality. Some of the main ones are going to obviously be like something's feeling off within me. You may be struggling with life, with health, bodily or mentally. You feel like you don't resonate with religions, but you feel like something's still missing. You may follow religion, but it's not really helping you with any of your actual issues. You feel like you're out of control in life. You may feel like you don't have any passion for anything you do. You're just going through the motions in your day-to-day life. Maybe you're having trouble with emotional reactivity, where you can't really say you're in control in some situations in your life. Say you get angry or some things, or you get overly sad about some things. You may just be curious about spirituality and want to learn more. So basically, for the human experience, you're in the right place. So we have a opening meditation. And why meditation for a spirituality class? Well, some people may say that's pretty obvious. Meditation equals spirituality. Wrong. So the idea is that meditation is a tool that can be used that helps most people. It's for you who are science-backed and love science. Meditation has recent studies showing that it does affect the brain in many ways, helping retention, receptivity, attention, stress relief, you name it. So going into this meditation, I want you guys to go ahead and visualize the space. When you start the meditation, welcome to your first meditation here with the group. This time is just for you. You don't need to do anything special. There's nowhere to be but here and now. So let's begin by making sure you're in a comfortable seated position, feet on the ground if you can, hands soft. Your eyes can be gently closed, or you can use the image on the screen to take you elsewhere as you soften your gaze. Begin to notice your breath, not changing it, just observing it. Just go ahead and inhale and exhale. Feel the air come in through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhale And exhale. Feel the air come into your lungs. Hold and notice your heartbeat as the lungs press against your heart. Now release and feel the air leave through your throat. There's no pressure here. Just let your breath guide you back into an awareness of your body. Go ahead and let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Soften your stomach muscles. Feel your body settling down and your mind slowing down. Notice where you are holding tension in your body. Go ahead and take a deep breath and allow that part of you to relax completely. Do the same with every breath. Find some tension and allow it to be released. Very good. Continue this until you're completely relaxed. Go ahead and stay here for a moment, just breathing. Just be. All right, hopefully that was nice and calming for you guys. So what is spirituality? We have a quote from a famous guru, Amit Ray. Spirituality is not adopting more beliefs and assumptions, but uncovering the best in you. So the idea is spirituality is not about beliefs. It's not a path to somewhere else. It's a return inward, remembering who you are. It's about being present to what's true. It's not a escape from the world. You don't meditate to get away from things. You don't go to the forest to get away from things. You go do those things to feel and be in those states, to know those places and experiences more fully, being able to react, actually respond with coherence and not react. The difference being that space where you get to choose how you express yourself versus automatically respond based on your quote unquote programming as you've been raised. Spirituality is the unlearning of performance. In other words, your programming, dismantling any negative beliefs, the integration of your inner parts, and the reclaiming of the inner light that you've always carried. It's not really about being good, right, or enlightened, but honest, aware, and attuned. Being yourself. So it begins with learning presence and continues with curiosity and deepens through surrender. Basically, it's this experience of existence the way you're meant to. and through that experience, being able to know the true nature of the world rather than just being told what to believe. Okay, so what will you get out of spirituality? Overall personal growth and transformation. You're able to use life's challenges as a catalyst for healing, evolution, and awakening instead of being beaten down into submission by life. You get to be the captain of your ship rather than floating without any aim in a giant sea. This fulfills many's needs to seek meaning and purpose. So the questions, why am I here? Get answered. What's the meaning of it all? Get answered. You have the freedom from external control. So the binding of society, of conventions, of conformity, you are led back to your true self rather than what other people expect you to be. You're brought back to presence and consciousness. You become aware of the being within you that's not the thoughts, emotions, or emotions or beliefs, but the true self underneath that. You can be brought into alignment with your truth. You live in a way that reflects your deepest integrity, your soul's values, and your personal resonance. You can be brought into a connection to something greater. You begin to sense that there's something bigger than you rather than being told that there's something bigger than you. You live your life in a sense of love, compassion, light, joy, peace, and unity, feeling the interconnectedness of things. And then at the tail end, you can have direct experiences of things more than you. Now, spirituality has quite a bit of misperceptions surrounding it, many based on just the general idea of there's no clear source and we're never truly taught about these sort of things. There's never a study or class about spirituality like there is religious studies or that sort of thing. And there's reasons for that, but it's further down in the timeline if we get to that point. But the idea is that spirituality is not really a lifestyle trend. It's not a fad. The knowledge and practices gained will benefit you throughout your life and even beyond. So one misperception is that there's a right way to do it. If you meditate like this, eat like this, if you believe this, you're being spiritual and you'll attain enlightenment or something. So that's wrong. There's no exclusive way for someone who meditates, prays, or follows a teacher that will lead to your highest path that works for everybody. There are many paths to the truth. No path fits all. So some people sit in stillness and become enlightened or awakened. Others walk in nature and connect with the truth selves through the environment. Channeling your creativity, practicing chants, or serving others can find people on their highest spiritual path. So I can serve as a guide for you guys, but I'm not guiding you on a path that will work for you. I'm guiding you back to your true guide, which is yourself. Only you can find what you resonate with in this journey. And stuff with that, I can't do it for you. There's nothing I'm going to be able to say that will just spark divine truth within you. It's you've got to take what I say, find what resonates, and then do your own inner searching to find your path and do the walking and the work required yourself. So the next misperception is that spirituality is the same as religion. So spirituality is more about the direct connection to truth, source, or inner knowing, and it doesn't require dogma, hierarchy, or belief systems, though it can exist within religious paths too. So we know this to be true because there are quote unquote enlightened or ascended individuals from many religious paths. So like Jesus, like Buddha, like Krishna, like Guan Yin. We know these people to be highly spiritual. So that means there's something that's not related to the religious system that people can connect to, that's inherent to people as a whole. The whole collective has this ability. So that doesn't mean you can't be spiritual and religious, but there is a sense that some religious beliefs that are negative can hold you back from being spiritual. And we'll get into that later on. Another misperception is that it's all light, love, good vibes only. If you're not feeling those, you're not being spiritual, which is false because true spirituality includes the dark stuff like shadow work, discomfort, healing. Avoiding pain is bypassing, not true growth. So real awakening means holding both the light and the truth, which often begins with discomfort, facing the dark, embracing the dark, and eventually loving the darkness within you to be able to integrate that. Next misperception is being spiritual means being positive, peaceful all the time. Spirituality is about being real, not artificially happy. You want to be able to feel everything consciously in the moment and choose how you react over suppressing your reactions, which is unhealthy. Next misperception is you have to be psychic or special to be spiritual. Spirituality is innate. It's more our existence is overall spiritual. Everyone has intuition, energy, and spiritual potential, just like everyone can learn to sing. Even if everyone's not a famous vocalist. So things like abilities, gifts like clairvoyance, telepathy, that sort of stuff do exist and maybe opened up on their spiritual path. It's more that we've become so disconnected in this society, in the current reality, that these things seem too crazy to be true. Next misperception along the it's crazy line. It's too woo-woo or unscientific. So many spiritual principles have scientific parallels that the scientists are discovering, and currently there's a lot of disarray in science because they're coming to find out that a lot of their studies are leading them into topics that have been around spiritually for thousands of years. So there's finding that mindfulness is very good for the brain, neuroscience. That energy healing does affect people through the biofield sciences. Manifestation happens, at least physically, in the neuroplasticity and the focus of the individual. And they're finding relationships between consciousness and quantum physics. And then the people who study near-death experiences kind of can't ignore spirituality as a realistic answer to what's going on in that field. So overall, the bridge between science and spirituality is expanding, not shrinking. Next misperception is you have to give up a normal life to be spiritual, which is not true because spirituality is embodied in everyday life. How you live your life is spiritual. It's not about living in a cave or retreating from society, even though that's a valid spiritual exploration. It's how you show up to relationships, work, and yourself with intention and presence. Next misperception is spirituality or focusing inward is selfish or self-indulgent. True spirituality teaches self-awareness, compassion, and service. And the idea is you cannot pour from an empty cup. Making sure you're taking care of yourself is one of the biggest contributions you can make to the world. Do not deny the world the best version of yourself. Next misperception is if I start this journey, I have to change everything at once. Wrong. Spiritual awakening is a process, not a performance. There's no end goal, only the practice. It never ends. It will unfold in layers at the soul's pace, not Instagram's. Have grace with yourself. Take it easy. We're all in the right place at the right time. Next misperception is I have to wait until I'm healed to help others. So basically the understanding is there's always something to work on, so eventually you'll just never help anybody else. So that's the understanding that healing is continuous and not a finish line. You're able to serve while growing as long as you're honest and grounded with yourself and with whoever you're helping out. You don't need to be perfect, just present and humble. Next misperception, if I'm spiritual, I'll attract only good things. This is wrong because spirituality doesn't protect you from life. It deepens your ability to move through it with strength and wisdom. In fact, a life without challenges is almost antithesis to most goals of this experience here in 3D reality. The general idea is we're here to experience and grow, and how are you going to grow without any challenge? Okay, so you kind of get the gist of spirituality. So some questions you might have to me are, why you? What are your credentials? Why are you putting this information out, and how do I know it's trustworthy? So the idea is it doesn't have to be me. In fact, I encourage you to learn from many sources to find those individuals and methods that resonate with you. And I will be providing external sources as we move along in these sessions and through the WhatsApp group. Yet here we are. You are here seeing this for a reason. So the idea is that you'll soon learn that there's no mistakes, no coincidences. We met here for a reason. My role here isn't to be a guru, expert, or authority, just a mirror to help you understand yourself better. I can provide information and guidance, and those who need it will find me or come across it in the right timing. So what are my qualifications? I don't have any. You should run, save yourselves, go, be gone. Please remember, I'm not here to convince you of anything, only to hold a space clear enough that you can hear your own voice more clearly. And as I said in the disclaimer, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't fall prey to the appeal to authority fallacy. Truth is evident no matter the source. So if you don't know the appeal to authority fallacy, it's needing authority an authoritative figure or credentials to trust information. And in the opposite way, it's not believing any information that doesn't come from an authoritative source. So it's important to always do your fact checking in all aspects of life. Okay, but to satisfy your 3D minds, I'm sure you guys want to know more about me. So why I feel I can be a decent guide to you is that I've been an avid meditator since 13. So avid that I'm in a constant state of meditation all the time. And what I share is based on what I've lived, experienced, witnessed, and helped others transform within themselves. We have former students or current students of mine joined in the chat, and as well as this new group. So a lot of this is rehashing what they know, but it's always good to have refreshers, and it may be presented in different ways that click for them. So thank you all for joining again. I've done the inner work. I've sat with darkness, negativity, pain, and I've found the peace, love, joy, and light within and without on the other side. And the last point is that people also say I reflect back to them exactly what they didn't know that they needed to hear. So I'm useful as a quote unquote tool to help people see parts of themselves they wouldn't otherwise see. All right, so that's the general gist of this presentation, getting to know spirituality. And here we have a list of future topics of exploration that will be upcoming. So if you see something here that interests you, be sure to stick around in these sessions. We have some crazy stuff towards the end. Don't let that scare you off. And then we have a practice, an invitation to begin integrating spiritual practice in your life. So the first suggestion I would make is find a breathwork guided meditation on YouTube and try it out. Essentially, the meditation we did during this session was breathwork, just breathing into relaxation. But there's many types of breathwork, specifically in the Indian Kriya Yoga traditions. And then another practice you can do is to go ahead and try taking mindful breaths sometimes during your everyday life. And this will help you to experience that you have time to practice spirituality, even though you have a hectic schedule. I know that's a favorite excuse for people to not be spiritual. My life is too busy. How can we be spiritual when I'm so busy? Well, if you understand that everything is spiritual, then it only takes some mindfulness to start being aware of that. And you can do that with some breaths. So if you notice yourself being stressed during this week or having some emotional distress, go ahead and take a few breaths and see how that works for you. And with that, we've come to the end of this session. So I'll go ahead and take any questions now, if there are any. So I see in chat, we have a question. How do you concentrate during meditation? So that's a great question, Sabari. So the idea of meditation is that there's many forms of meditation. Some involve concentrating, some involve not concentrating, just being. So for the meditation you're interested in, if you're concentrating on a single idea or topic, you want to not force it, have that topic in your mind, and whenever your mind strays, gently observe it, thank it, and redirect yourself back to the topic of your concentration. So typically concentration meditations fail when you are focused on the idea that no thoughts should be allowed in that aren't my topic of concentration. But that's a end state type of goal for your meditation. Getting to that point requires practice and patience with yourself. So the idea is, as you return to your core self, there will be less in your mind that takes up your mental space, and your practice will become easier and easier until you realize that you are able to concentrate as desired on whatever topic you are working on. Does that help your understanding? All right, awesome. And since the last session closed, I don't know if anybody shared any questions in the chat as we were going. Were there any questions in the previous chat? All right, no questions about this presentation from anybody, I'm assuming. Are there any questions about spirituality in general? All right, then I'll go ahead and close up the call then. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope to see you guys next week. This will be a weekly session, especially you guys in America. I know it's early, but to help with the Indian folks joining, it's very late for them, so this is a good time to get everybody to be able to join this together. So thanks for your efforts joining today. Your future self will also thank you. All right, I'll go ahead and close it up. Hope you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Justin.
Sure thing, Jelby.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, Justin.